Thank you very much. Good morning to all of you. Grateful that you are here. I will start with two personal notes. सबसे पहले कि मैं चंडीगढ़ का मुंडा सारी मेरी पढ़ाई लिखाई इतने सेक्टर 8 की स्कूल हुई ते बड़ी खुशी हुई कई साल बाद वापस आए थे ते चंडीगढ़ प्रेस क्लब ते बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਏ ਸਭ Second, little bit again personal note, the genesis of the Genesis Foundation, we will speak about that a little bit more. That my wife and I, we lost our second child to a congenital heart defect many years ago. And that was really, in a way, the genesis of the foundation. So many years later, we set up the Genesis Foundation. And about 10 years back, we decided that we will focus completely on congenital heart defects. Now, congenital heart defects मतलब कि पैदाइशी बीमारी बच्चों के नाल पैदा ही होता है. The roughly global numbers, 9 out of 1,000 live births. So roughly say 1% of live births, child is born with a congenital heart defects. And in India, we have almost 25 million children being born every year. So roughly 200 to 250,000, 2-2.5 लाख के बीच जो बच्चे हैं वो पैदा होते हैं congenital heart defect के साथ. और उनमें से roughly 25 to 30% are very critical. They need attention within the first 1 year of their life, otherwise they will not survive. And others who do survive the first year will have problems as they go along in their life later on. So we support underprivileged families. और हमारी definition underprivileged family की ये है कि family की जो महीने की income है वो 20,000 या 20,000 रुपए से कम है. तो वो हमारा qualifying criteria है. तो उन families के बच्चे जो congenital heart defects से सफ़र करते हैं, हम उनकी जो इंटरवेंशन है, उनकी सर्जरीज की जो है अरेंज करते हैं. तो हमारे पास अभी तकरीबन 30 हॉस्पिटल्स सारे इंडिया में जो हैं वो हमारे साथ पार्टनर्स हैं, जहाँ से हमारे पास केस जो हैं वो रेफर होते हैं. तो अभी तक हमने 5,000 almost 5,500 चिल्ड्रन सपोर्ट किए हैं. And our success rate, which is the important part, is more than 98%. So when we actually support 100 children, more than 98 of them will survive and live a normal life. And most of these interventions are one-time interventions. So the child is treated once, operated once, and then the child is good enough, like any other child, can lead a normal life for like any other child. So we, as I said, our focus is underprivileged families. Our focus is giving chance to young children who will not survive unless there is medical intervention. Children less than 30 days old, they are called neonatals, which means that this is almost emergency. The children are already on life support system, some of them, when we go in and we treat these children. Unfortunately, the government schemes do not support, there is not capacity, and also long waiting lists in the centers where these surgeries can be performed. Pediatric cardiology surgery is a very, very specialized field. There are only about 60 centers in our entire country in which there is capacity, doctors available who are specialists in pediatric cardiology surgeries. And in the government sector, the waiting lists are very long. So private sector comes in. So we work with hospitals which are for-profit hospitals and also not-for-profit trust hospitals, and they are spread all over the country. And we do these camps in far-flung remote areas, tribal areas. So we have done camps from Kargil to Kanyakumari, where we take specialist doctors to the district hospital close by, and where the children come for being examined, and then we see that how we can bring them to Delhi or to Mumbai or to one of the centers where there is a good center which is available, which can help. So overall, our whole idea is to provide as good a medical attention that we can to the children suffering from congenital heart disease. Now, Kasauli Rhythm and Blues Festival came up as an idea that we started to use music as a way of reaching out to the communities, reaching out to our supporters, bringing people on one platform, and really spreading the awareness about this issue, and hoping that we'll have more people support the cause. So we started in 2012. This was the same year that two important things happened in Kasauli. The Kasauli Literary Fest started in October of 2012, but we started in April of 2012 with the Kasauli Rhythm and Blues Festival. So these two festivals have actually become part of the cultural calendar or cultural scene of Kasauli, of the Kasauli Rhythm and Blues Festival. And also the 25th year of the formation of the Genesis Foundation. So we have two very important milestones. And on this very important sort of two milestones, we are very happy that 1842 spaces are supporting this, and this festival is being held in association with 1842 Scapes. And it's interesting because there is this feeling of a community, there's a feeling because they are in Kasauli, they are involved in Kasauli. We have been doing this festival in Kasauli for a long time, and we have a lot of emotional and other connect in Kasauli. So we are very happy that 1842 Scapes have come forward to help us with this, because the festival is, to repeat or to clarify, is a unique festival because all the funds that we raise from the festival go towards treatment of children, directly towards treatment of children.
My heartiest congratulations, Jyoti, for 25 years. And thank you all for coming here. Thank you for being a part of this. We are at Scapes very, very honored to be a part of this entire effort which Genesis Foundation has been putting for 25 years. I think I'll just introduce Scapes a little bit. We are a company which goes into various states of India, does development, does responsible development, but we also create a culture around it. We like to support what is already there. We like to support the environment. We like to support specifically people who are making the city come alive. And like Jyoti said, Midfest and R&B Festival are both really keeping the flag flying high for Kasauli and the wonderful people who live there. So I think generally somewhere we had something discussing the other day. We said the undivided Punjab at one time had so much to offer. Himachal was very much part of the undivided Punjab. But today, Rajasthan has taken the lead with more resources in tourism, in getting all the big brands of hotels into the state. And I think Himachal, Punjab overall has a lot of potential to structure this right. And the only way to do that is when you uplift the entire place, not just develop one project there, or unless you don't find a community of people who give back to the society. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nagar, for we are very grateful to be associated with Genesis Foundation. I was there at the festival last year as a guest, and this year we are associated in a special way with a special foundation. So that is a great honor for us. The way what Samir, to add to what he said, that we are a responsible company. We'd like to actually keep and maintain and sustain what we are building, and also just to see that what exactly can we also give to our clients and to the community. Now, if that is not done, then if you're just extracting more and more from the earth and not giving it back, that is not a great thing that for us to do as a developer and as a community. So we're trying to see that how do we stay away from using the other normal practices which people do and be a little more responsible. Now there's a lot of keywords and other things that we can use, but I won't get into that. I am very happy to be associated with such a noble cause as the Genesis Foundation. We will try and do our best to keep Kasauli pristine and nature friendly and leave it in that same way as we've entered. Thank you. So that's it, just to Sagar or to us?
Yeah, right.
Few challenges in the work that the foundation is engaged in. So let me just talk first about the infrastructure issues, about the availability of facilities where these type of surgeries and operations can be done. And that's very, very limited. It's for a country our size, there is just not enough capacity. So that becomes a constraining factor. But even more importantly, and we start from before we do surgeries, and that's diagnosis. Typically, children suffering from congenital heart defects, and certainly in rural and semi-urban areas, there is no early diagnosis. We usually will get cases where a child is already 4 or 5 years old, and the mother will say, भागती है तो थक जाती है, सीढ़ी चढ़ता है तो थक जाता है. Then they start realizing that there is something wrong with the child, and that's God's been kind enough and the child has survived that long. And then they go into a tertiary facility. All you require is an echo ECG, and you immediately know what the problem is. So early diagnosis is one of the problem areas for this whole space, so to say. So there could be things which can be done. Just for instance, that ASHA workers, when they go into villages and into small towns, and they go to home, they do a preliminary check on a child. And can we continue, please? One of the things, for instance, which is can simply be done is a pulse oximetry test. All you need is a pulse oximetry instrument, which we are aware of, and so that it can figure out if there is an early problem. So you have a situation where if you found early signs and you do diagnosis, right now the problem that we have in the country on a very large scale is that the disease is not found early enough. So you have lack of facilities for treatment, you have complete absence of early diagnosis. So those are the two key challenges which are there in this sector. As a foundation, of course, always key difficulties which all NGOs face is fundraising. So we are always challenged with that because there is no lack of kids that we can support. The availability of finances becomes a big constraint. So some of those are challenges which are to the sector, and some are specific because of financial needs.
So your organization is doing commendable job, and I hope you're doing it to the utmost capacity you all guys have, and thankfully you have sponsors with you. My question is having two parts. One is in the implementation, like how do you get the calls? Maybe you're associated with 30 odd hospitals and they give you a call that you have a certain case like wherein the person is not getting sponsors or something like that, he is not having funds enough to have their child treated. Number one. Number two is like, are you going to the remote border areas of Punjab, Haryana, and Himachal also? Himachal is a very beautiful place, I must say.
So let me answer those two questions. So first of all, how do we identify children who need the support? So basically there are three main sources. First, of course, is that most of the hospitals with whom we tied up, we have an agreement with them, we have a standard operating procedure, so they are quite aware of our conditions. There are a few of the surgeries that we do not support, but there's a large list of surgeries that we will support. The qualifying criteria of monthly income of 20,000 rupees or less, so they are very familiar with that. So when they get a case where the parent cannot afford surgery, and these will be daily wage laborers, masons, plumbers, farm workers, they then, the social service cell with whom we are connected, they will reach out to us and say, we have a child, meets your criteria, here is the application form, and then we assess the case, and then we will say, okay, we will support this child. The other is through the camps that we do in association with hospitals. And that's where I'm answering now the second part of your second question as well. So that's where a lot of the children are discovered in these camps. And these camps are usually in the hinterland. So they are not in main cities, but they will be in districts, in tribal areas, and remote areas. And as I said, we have done camps all over the country, from Kargil in the north to Kanyakumari in the south, and we have done camps in Haryana and in Punjab. So children from Punjab, Haryana, and Himachal typically will get their surgeries in Delhi. They will come to Delhi. Unfortunately, these centers that I'm talking about, they are all concentrated in metropolitan cities or in tier 1 or tier 2 cities, because all of the doctors and the infrastructure that's available is only those cities can support. So so the kids from the areas that you mentioned, we support those children, a lot of those children, and they will come into Delhi or sometimes some other partner hospitals where the treatment is then provided.
And if you give me life security, then I must suggest you some places. One is Shahabad near Ambala, and Nilokhedi near Karnal, and a few villages near them. Actually, they're having hundreds of villages, and they're having more cases like that. Some are near border areas of Fazilka, Jalalabad, and some are in Himachal. Himachal is entirely like they're having backwards areas.
Yes, I think those are very useful suggestions, and we will keep that in mind. So typically these things are held at a district center, because there is an interesting reason, because the basic equipment that is used for diagnosing the children is the same equipment. It's an ultrasound equipment which can be used for determination of sex of an unborn child. So there are big rules which don't allow this to be a mobile equipment. So we do this in a district. But what we do is we tend to work with some of the local NGOs there. So the word is spread around the district, the villages, like the good old days, is jagah par camp lage, that kind of thing. And then we get children. So camps can attract as many as 300 to 400 children at any one camp. So that's one of the catchment areas for us, is those camps, and in the areas. So as I say, if the Muhammad won't come to the well will go to Muhammad. So we try and do that to bring it closer to the needy communities.
Thank you, sir.